Hello everyone, Onlydraven here again, and today we're doing another tutorial in Minecraft All the Mod 8s. Today we're continuing our look at the Productive Bees mod that's included in this pack, specifically looking at how to make and use the different nests in this pack to catch or gather the different types of gatherable bees that come included in Productive Bees. Now, if you find this video helpful and you like it, please be sure to click like, but most importantly, please remember to hit that subscribe button so that way you can see all my videos and tutorials as they come out. Alright, so there are multiple different types of nests that exist out in the world, and you can actually go out and just find the majority, if not all of these nests out there, but it is much easier to make them yourself. So we're going to look at just a couple of them to give you an idea of how they work. We're going to look at an oak nest. Now, an oak nest is a wooden sword and an oak log. So you're going to notice a theme here, I promise. Then there is a reed nest, which is a wooden sword and a sugar cane. There is a dirt nest, which is a wooden sword and a block of dirt. A stone nest, which I spelled wrong, with an iron sword and a stone block. And we're also going to look at honey treats, which are needed to make these work, which is a honeycomb and one honey bottle. Even though I have just 4 of the different nests listed here, if we go into the JEI, you'll see that there is an oak nest, spruce, dark oak, birch, jungle, acacia, bamboo, stone, dirt, sand, snow, gravel, reed, slimy, glowstone, soulstone, quartz, nether gold, nest, nether brick, endstone, obsidian, bumblebee, sugar bag, warped bee, and crimson bee. So there's a lot of different ones there, but as we look across them, you're going to notice that the recipe is almost always going to be a sword and a block of a certain type. So even if we look at an obsidian one here, it's a diamond sword. And a lot of times it's going to be a sword needed of the level of material you'd be looking to break. If you wanted to break this, you'd need at least a diamond pickaxe, so it wants a diamond sword. Whereas a jungle one is a wooden sword and a jungle log. So when we're looking at nests in general, if we could click on a nest and we hit the U button, up here we can click on this little dirt picture here for bee spawning, and it'll tell us that a jungle nest will give us a chance to get a blue banded bee, a green carpenter bee, or a yellow carpenter bee. Okay, so let's look at oak in particular, just for convenience. We're going to grab that one and go and click up here again. An oak one can get us a green carpenter bee or a yellow carpenter bee. So clicking on the different ones and then clicking on, for example, if we click on slimy nest, scroll over and click the U button, that's what gives us this up here. Click on bee spawning, it gives us a slimy bee, so on and so forth. Now, in a lot of mod packs, the nests need to be in a specific biome to work, and majority of that is not needed in all the mods 8. Now, there are exceptions. If you're looking to use any of the ones that are a nether material, like quartz, for example, or soul sand, you have to have those in the nether to get that bee. If you wanted to get an end stone or an obsidian bee, you would have to get those in the end. But the majority of the basic ones are going to be included and going to be available just here in the overworld. So let's grab a couple of these. There's the oak one we looked at, the dirt, the stone. I grabbed the reed specifically. We're going to grab that one because the reed nest is the only one that kind of works a little different. And I'm going to grab a stack of those honey treats we were looking at. So if I want to gather specific bees, I'm going to put them in here. Now, you'll notice I'm doing a lot of this bee stuff in a closed-in room, and that's just so my bees don't wander off, especially if I'm wanting some type of specialty bee. So now that I've set these down, okay, right-clicking on them doesn't do anything, but if I scroll over them, it says, nest is empty, use a honey treat on it to attract a bee. The nest can attract bees in this location, which means in the biome I'm in, this will work. And majority of the overworld worlds are going to work in any area you're pretty much in. So we're going to hit that right-click with a honey treat. Gives us an achievement. Treat me nice. And now if you look, it'll say repopulation cooldown. So as it's counting down, 1190, 89, 88, when that timer hits 0, we will have summoned a specialty bee. Now, as to which one that is, we won't know until that's finished. The reed nest is one of the few that works a little differently, but we're going to need something special. We're going to need some sand, and we're going to need a bucket of water. So the reed bee nest needs to be just like sugarcane, is going to have to be on a block of sand. Well, I guess that would have helped if I'd have put something down there. Let me close that in. All right, sand. I put my reed nest on there, but you see, nothing's happening. I'm right-clicking. It won't let me put it down. Okay? And that's because I need to have water in front of it, just like putting down sugarcane. So, because it looks just like sugarcane, except it doesn't grow. So for a reed nest to work, it has to be in sand with a block of water in front or on one side of it. Then you can click it with a honey treat, and then that is going to go ahead, and in our countdown again, it's going to give us a reed bee, which is the only type of bee that you would get from this nest. So 1189, 1120, 1121, this cooldown is going to take a while, right? If we want to speed that up, you can continue clicking on it with additional honey treats. As you see, as I'm right-clicking with honey treats, the counter is going down. Now, this is the same kind of thing as if you were trying to grow an animal that you've bred from child to adult, say a cow, and you're feeding it additional wheat to get its cooldown to go faster, or seeds for a chicken. It's the same idea. So as I'm clicking away on this and getting it down to the minimum, of course now we're at 4 seconds, when that timer finishes, it's going to give us a random bee, and in this situation, we got a green carpenter bee. So now that we have that green carpenter bee, he's ours, we've got some options. We can just let him hang out, where he will go ahead and gather himself up some flower juice here, or nectar, whatever that is. You know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not sure. And he may just go back and hang out inside this nest. Some of the specialty bees will go inside of a hive, and they will actually produce honeycombs of a specific type. But not all bees do. And many of the bees that you're going to summon in here do not. But these bees are going to be needed to breed more advanced bees. By combining different bees together, that's how you're going to get more and more specialty bees. And then those bees can be bred with more specialty bees and create even harder to get ones. So as you can see, he's gone back inside 1900. He's hanging out. There's nothing I can click on to get him out of there again. I got to wait for the timer to go down. But I can go ahead and speed up some of these other bees. So here's the dirt nest. Let's knock that one down and see what we get out of a dirt nest, just to show you how it works. And one. And this time we got a leaf cutter bee. So again, this is how you're going to get a lot of your starter bees that you're going to use to start breeding the more advanced ones. You can gather some of these bees, in fact many of them, just running around in the world themselves. So if you're out wandering around, I definitely recommend taking some bee cages with you. At least some of the single-use ones that I have here. Or you can take some of the one-time use ones if you've happened to found those. But if you find a bee, you can use a bee cage to catch them. Right, so let me just go one here. Let's go ahead and speed up this stone one so we can see what bee we get. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so now a lot of these bees you may not need for their actual resources. You may only want them so you can breed them. Here we got a digger bee. So I've gone ahead and I've grabbed him and I have a digger bee in a cage. So maybe I don't want him wandering around. Or maybe I don't want him going back in here because I want to start summoning another bee by putting more honey treats inside of there. I can't do that if he goes back inside and is hanging out. So I could go ahead and get myself just a chest, put that down over here, and put him in there. And now I have that bee should I need to use him to breed a different bee, or if he's a bee that produces a resource, I can take him out and to put him in different types of ways to get that resource. I'll grab this guy as well, do the same thing. So now I've got a digger bee and a green carpenter bee, and I can go ahead and start using honey treats to get more bees. And I may get 4 green carpenter bees before the oak nest provides a different one. But by continuing going, you'll get multiple of the bees until you have all of the basic bees you need. You can do that with every one of these nests that you can make. Again, the glowstone, soul sand, quartz, and nether gold nests, nether brick nests, those have to be in the nether. So you have to, I'd recommend building a little room like this, Putting them down, hitting them with honey treats the exact same way. Having some bee cages handy, so once they pop out, you can grab them and bring them back here to the overworld, or once you have them, you can use them here. And then if we look at the end stone and obsidian nest, those ones are only in the end, so I would do the same thing there. Okay? And that's really just the trick of gathering all of the bees and catching them. It's how you're going to get your specialty bees that are going to let you start breeding the bees that are going to start turning into resources like iron bees, cold bees, redstone bees, and things of that nature, which are really going to help advance your playthrough once you get those products going. So that's the basics of using nests and honey treats. Honey treats have many other uses that we'll look at in other tutorials, but early game, this is probably the first and best use of them for you to start gathering specialty bees. Now, if you have any questions about this tutorial or any of my tutorials, be sure to put that down in the comments, and I'll do my very best to get back with you as quickly as I can, as well as any recommendations or suggestions you may have for other tutorials you'd like to see in All the Mods 8. I'm always looking for new ideas. You can also go to my website, Onlydraven.com, and there at the bottom of the homepage is a place where you can send an email with any questions, recommendations, or suggestions you may have, and I'll respond there as well. Or you can also find things like my socials, my streaming schedule, and other resources. A lot of great stuff on the website. Highly recommend checking it out. That is going to do me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.